Just say, what should I call you?
Childless.
A sexual kink you have is humiliated on the interwebs.
Yeah, that's a component. Have a leash, walked around in public. That'd be fun. I like to feel helpless, feminized. I like to see myself being subservient. She's my mommy. Pick me up. Hey, got my lights.
Holy crap, dude, we got it! Finally, we got the podcast running, dude. Whew, it's been quite a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So before anything starts, let's just say, what should I call you?
Childless.
Chadlet Maxing. So, before we continue, I have a little thing. There's a height requirement. So you're 5'3", right?
5'3.5".
Sorry, and a half. I'm gonna quickly measure myself with my measuring, and then I'll see if you're qualified. So my earbuds are out right now. Okay, I can't hear you right now. So I have my handy dandy measurer. Okay. So you're about 5'3". So let's see. Do you make it? Oh, you make it, dude. You make it. Oh yeah. That's awesome sauce, dude.
There's no way you're that tall.
Oh crap. The hat came off. It's okay. All right.
Can you hear me now?
Sorry, what did you say, Chad?
What? There's no way you're that tall.
I'm about
come on.
I'm about 6 foot. So it's not an exact measurement. Not an exact measurement. So probably would be like up to here, give or take. So.
You said you're how tall?
I'm about 6 foot, 6'1". So you're probably about like here to my chest, probably.
No. That must be a joke. See, when someone's 6 feet or 6'1", I stand about here.
Oh, on their neck. So yeah, you're probably up here.
Yeah, I dated this one woman who was 6'1", and that's how tall I was next to her. I've got some pictures with her.
Yeah, is that the girl in your profile picture? You and that blonde girl?
No, the one in the profile picture is 6'2".
Oh crap! Yeah, is that like? So that's an ex-girlfriend, right?
Nick?
No, is that like an ex-girlfriend of yours, or no? I said, is she like an ex-girlfriend?
Oh,
yeah.
Well, she's this German girl that I just randomly met in San Francisco when I was down there. So I used to get my prescription down there back in 2019 and 2020. So every 3 months I would go over there and I'd go to the have you been to San Francisco?
I have not, unfortunately, but I kind of get what you're talking about.
There's this ferry building. It's world famous, and a lot of rich people go there and a lot of foreigners. And I saw this towering blonde girl. She was sitting down and she was exactly my type. And I thought, okay, I have to go over and talk to her, or at least just see what's going on. So I sat right next to her at this long table because it was like a communal table. And I looked over and she was writing in German in this book. And I was like, I just said, "Are you German?" And she was like, "Yeah, how did you know?" I was like, "Well, you're writing in German."
So
and then we like hung out all day for 2 weekends.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
So how long ago was that?
That was 2019. That was November and December of 2019.
So like 26, or not 26, it's like 6 years ago, pretty much?
Yep. Basically, almost exactly.
Okay, so I have a few just basic questions before we really start getting to the deeper stuff. So, what exactly do you do? And this is for the audience that are watching. They want to know, who are you, what do you do, and why do you do it?
As you talking about like my channel or my social media stuff or other things?
Your content, I guess I should say, your social media presence.
So I'm doing this for. I used to have a channel called The Sober Cat Boy. If anyone wants to check that out. But I'm on a mission
Mm,
to raise awareness for height prejudice
okay.
and to basically shine a bright light and illuminate the dark, ugly truths in our world that are being, hidden and dismissed and minimized by women, by people in charge, by the media, culture, and it's really a lot of people think that the whole height obsession is a uh, a cultural thing, like just a societal thing. But a lot of the BP, am I allowed to say the full black,
You can say everything.
chapter?
I don't care. You can say whatever you
Okay.
want.
So a lot of the height pill, black pill community, um,
That's a bad
it's
word,
like it's
really?
like
Height pill and
what
black pill? Those are bad words?
well, height pill is okay, but black pill is like something that's YouTube doesn't like it, TikTok doesn't like it. They'll suppress content,
Is that why you, when you
like
text, like, on the comments, you're like, oh, YouTube, you spell YouTube with, like, letters and
well,
numbers
the
and...
the reason I do that is because platforms don't like it when you mention other platforms. So
Oh,
whichever
okay.
platform I'm on, that's the only one that I spell normally.
Okay.
I'm just extremely paranoid about stuff like that because I've been shadow banned a lot for
That's
many
fair.
years. But anyway, so there's a schism in the height pill community where some people think that the height obsession is a society thing and it's programmed just by the media and culture. And then there's other people that believe that it's instinctual and genetically programmed. And I believe that it's both because women, obviously, throughout history and every culture on the planet, except like maybe one or two exceptions in Africa or something, there's this one tribe where the women prefer shorter men.
Yeah.
But like overwhelmingly, it's been that way throughout all of history. And it also crosses over into other animals too, and not just mammals like crabs and shit like that. The females prefer larger males.
Yeah.
So, but then it's also culturally programmed as well because it's reinforced that way. And the one thing that I'd like to do is like make it so people recognize the height bias in their behavior so that they can like be aware of what they're doing and the subconscious thought patterns behind their behavior, when somebody is like not taking someone seriously in a workplace setting and they are like, okay, am I not taking this person seriously because they genuinely have earned that bad reputation, or is it because I look down on them and see them subconsciously as a child, you know
Because of the height
so that
thing?
yeah,
Okay.
that's the idea, is to bring awareness to those thought patterns, and then maybe in the media in the future they'll be less likely to I don't know, always make the short guy the like basically the bitch of some tall guy who's the leader character.
Yeah.
Like I didn't like Disney that much when I was a kid, but I heard or I saw little bits of Beauty and the Beast, and I never watched it, but apparently there's this character called Gaston, or however you
Oh, you
say his
gassed him.
name.
He's like a red shirt and like he has long hair, black
Yeah,
hair. Yep, yep, yep.
he, he's an aristocrat, and it's like based in medieval France, or like the 1400s in France, and they pictured this aristocrat, this nobleman, as being, a foot taller, like standing head and shoulders above everybody else. And I also talk about language as well, about how, even in our words, there are all these phrases that have heightism baked into them, like um head and shoulders above the rest, for example.
That's true.
So they, they made that character physically tower over everyone else, and then they gave him this puny little sidekick who he basically bullied and humiliated, and he was the butt of the joke. and they made the little guy ugly and fat too, on top of everything else. And
Yeah.
it's like, and all the women in the whole town were just like lusting after him, and he was just this bully. And there's a lot of realism in that, because in real life throughout history, it's actually been proven through statistics, and I've talked about this in my videos. There are peer-reviewed studies showing that taller people, the taller they are more likely to be successful financially or come from more well-off homes. It's a trend. It's not always the case, but
Yeah.
that's what statistics show. And so it's like, yeah, I'm trying to draw attention to that because it's something that is kind of disturbing.
Yeah.
It really messed me up when I first found those studies. It was around the time I met that girl, actually, in late 2019
2019.
when I
Okay.
first yeah. See, I had already been suspecting these things ever since I was like 15 years old. I've always been suspecting that the tall kids I called them the tall rich kids,
Mm.
and that's how I saw them in college. Like, they always had the nicest cars, always had the newest computers, etc. And they, had all these additional benefits of getting sports scholarships that they didn't even need because their parents could easily afford college. So they're getting all these additional opportunities. Yet, when I talk to people on TikTok or in the comments, every single day I've got somebody trying to challenge me on it and say, well, so and so, point out like Mark Zuckerberg or one of those other guys, Jeff Bezos, stuff like that, and say, well, what about them? It must not be true then. And I always have the same response. Those are statistical outliers,
Mm.
and they are an inspirational story to me. They're not good people. Like, obviously, they're not good people, but they do represent the possibility of being able to climb the social ladder. The problem is that these days, it's harder than ever to climb the social ladder for anyone, not just short guys.
Anybody.
So back in the 90s was when, 90s, early 2000s, that was Mark Zuckerberg's and Jeff Bezos' time. This is a lot easier to succeed back then.
Yeah.
So, and then, they point out different actors and stuff. Like, I don't know, Tom Cruise or something. He's not even that short. He's like 5'7" or something, but everyone called him really short. But it's like, yeah, he's 5'7". He's one of the only actors that are that short, unless you're talking about gimmick people like Danny DeVito or
Or like
something.
those like short midgets. Or I can say midget, right? Is that okay? Or okay.
I
Just
don't care.
no, not you. I'm just saying because like I know like I don't know because I know some people might not be okay with that word like if they're part of that like if they're a small person or whatever. Because I know that there are a lot
Yeah,
of good midget.
I've known people that are all sensitive about terms like that. And personally, I'm the complete opposite. Like, I enjoy being humiliated in that way.
Is
But
this is this
other
like a
people
is this
might
like a
not.
sexual kink you have, just being like degraded and humiliated on the interwebs? Is that like a kink or is that
Well,
just
I
like
mean,
a?
how old are you?
I'm 18. I'm 18.
Okay. Well, I'll just say that, yeah, that's a component to it.
Okay.
It's one of the only ways that I was able to cope. It's the only way I was able to cope with this.
Mm.
I went the gym maxing route. I made a video about that. It's actually my most viewed video. It didn't work for me. I did it for years and years and years. I tried to overcompensate. I wore boots and lifts, and I had perfect posture, and I just tried as hard as I could to be the most like dominant and macho male that I could, just like fully embody male gender roles to the extreme. And I only wanted women that were shorter than me, and I wanted girls that were super feminine looking, the curves, the pear-shaped body
Yeah,
with
the
the
hourglass.
motherly virgin hip.
Yep.
Not just hourglass hair, like with
Oh
narrow
yeah.
shoulders and yeah,
I get what you're saying.
yeah,
Hey,
like
up top, bro.
like that.
Okay.
I still have an admiration for women like that. If I see one, I do not like to look, but like I don't feel like the puzzle pieces fit together with me,
Mm.
and that's part of the reason that I got so depressed about it all, because I've been lusting after women that looked like that since I was, I don't know, 6 years old or something, because I had a really early puberty. That's part of the reason why my growth was, well, that's the reason my growth was stunted. But I've got like average height genes, um but yeah, like, so I've always wanted women like that. And because of the early influx of testosterone, I had this feeling like I was developing before other people. So I felt like all masculine and manly, and I wanted to, you know I saw myself as being this big, strong alpha male when I got older,
Yeah.
and that did not happen at all. And I I lost my mind because of it. And that's why the gym maxing didn't work, because no amount of, and this is a phrase that I used in a couple of my videos. There's no gym for your bones.
That's true. There is not no gym for your bones. You have to take care of yourself with nutrients and eating the right type of drink, like milk as an example, for like calcium, and getting nice sleep too. Because if you don't sleep enough, you don't eat right enough, that stunts your growth. Your growth plates will probably close sooner than later. I'm not even sure on that, but just assuming. And
Yeah,
that's
that's
why
how
take
it
care of
works.
yourself. Yep. So,
Yeah,
oh,
I
oh,
made a video about that on TikTok, by the
yeah.
way, about all the height maxing
I
stuff.
I
It's
actually
got
saw that. I
800,000
saw that
views.
recently. Yeah, it was about 5 minutes on TikTok, and you're like, just going one by one by one by one, and like eating the grass fed beef as an example, and all that good stuff. And I was like, okay, so this guy
Yeah,
knows what's going on. And I saw in the comments some dude said, I think it was some like I don't know, not good towards you, and someone said, shut STFU rice cell, and you like that. And I was laughing. I was like, what is a rice cell? Because he was Asian. I'm like,
yeah.
yo, that's actually kind of funny,
That
low
that
key.
I love the people who defend me in the comments, because I can't keep up with all that. I
Yeah.
can't keep up with all those comments anymore. It's too
Yeah.
many.
Well, I saw another comment you posted. Someone said, like, I can't remember what the original comment was, but I know you said, oh, yeah, if like Mexican or black, it's over for you. Like, is it because, like,
I
is
don't
it
think I said that.
okay? Not exactly like that, but I know it probably wasn't like a racist context or nothing, because I know people have their preference of wanting maybe white people or whatever. I just want to see, because I don't have it written down or nothing, but it's not like
So
anything
what
bad.
happened? I can explain what happened. So I've had this same interaction multiple times in comments.
Okay,
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
I get people that are black, Mexican, Indian, Asian, whatever, and then they leave a comment saying, "Well, at least you're white, bro." Like,
Mm,
they try to get me to acknowledge that I have privileges, and I do. I say, "Yeah, there's some legitimacy in that, and I acknowledge that you are at a disadvantage in some
Oh,
ways
yeah, that's what it
because of."
was. That's what it was. Yeah, that was a comment. Not like you saying it's bad, but like disadvantage. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. Sorry, I don't want to put you on the
I don't
spot. Like
like.
I'm like coming at you or nothing.
uh
So
Yeah. Yeah, I acknowledge other people's issues as well. Like,
mm,
I would have to be a hypocrite not
to not
to.
do that. So like
Yeah.
when women say they prefer taller guys, is that like an issue with you, or is like, oh, that's okay because that's their preference?
It's well, it's disappointing if it's a woman that I really like and was asking out.
But is there like
Um,
anything wrong with
but
that inherently, or
no, in fact, it's totally normal, and it doesn't bother me at all. I actually don't like it when they lie and say, "No, the personality is the most important," and then they're dating a guy who's 6'5" every single time.
mm,
So
okay,
I respect when they come out and say the truth. Um,
okay.
and all I do is, in response, say the same thing. Yeah, well, guess what? If you're under 5'11" and then you can't ride. You
And
know,
you
I,
can't
I'm
ride the
fine.
Chad train. Whoa, what?
Yeah,
Meow.
yeah, must be that height or taller, and they it's like it gives them a taste of their own medicine. Because I did one TikTok about rating women's heights, because they had this like height rating like template that you could use. And I rated the tallest ones, like basically shortest at the bottom, tallest at the top, and a bunch of like fem cells. I get that they say fem cells aren't real, but a
Yeah.
bunch of women that identify like that, commenting, man haters, commenting in my comments and being all upset, like, you know what? I'm only 4'10". And then there were a few other ones that said it's a good day to be a tall woman, and I was that post made like boosted my ego a lot
Oh, because they're like, oh
because
yeah, Chad, you're a good looking guy, and that's kind of how you perceived it.
yeah, they didn't mind that I was 5'3.5". Like there was one or two tall women in there that were 5'11 plus that were interested, and we talked in DMs for a while. But they're from foreign countries, and it's just not feasible.
Because I do remember there was this recent saga you had on your stuff. This girl had blocked you or whatever, and said like, and like she called you weird, or you thought you came off or something. I don't remember the exact story behind it, but I would like to hear like what transpired right there. You know,
Did you did you read it or did you
I I
watch it?
I had watched it, and I remember you were crying in one. It was it wasn't like an actual post; it was
Oh,
a
it was
story
one of
post.
my stories.
Yeah,
It was one of the stories. Was it on Instagram or
it was. I
TikTok?
think it was on Instagram and TikTok, and it was about some. I
Okay.
think some girl recently, I believe, but I could be wrong. It was some recent
Yeah.
girl, but I saw it like at
That was
least
a
past
very
month.
yeah, that was a very entertaining saga. I actually made a full video about it on my channel
Mm.
called Women Block Without Mercy.
Mm.
And my thumbnail is great, but basically it all got sparked off because um there's this female basketball player from Belgium, and I forgot her name exactly. If anyone wants to watch that video, you can get all those kinds of details.
Yep.
But
This is like a little preview, guys. Go check out his stuff.
yeah, I had a good time making that video because basically she um she has this Instagram account with 20,000 followers, 22K, but her TikTok has 10K.
Mm.
And I'm quickly approaching her. I felt like, you know, pretty cool about that. I get more views than she does, but basically, um, her Instagram is where she posts all of her more thirst trap style images
Mm.
in bikinis and stuff like that. And she like I think she's like 23. I'm not sure how old she is, but you can see how she went from being really skinny and just like stick thin and unappealing and like no muscle to now having some muscle. Like she's well on her way to being really filled out. And on top of that, she grew from when she was 18, she grew from 6'5" and now she's 6'8".
Mm.
And that is a typical thing that that I see with women from wealthy families is that because they were given all the purest food and inputs and kept away from those chemicals that stunt growth, they grow for much longer because it requires purity through that whole time, which is very expensive. Um, but anyway, I really was like loving seeing her develop. And I was really excited to see what she would look like by the time she was in her late 20s. And because that's when these women peak. So, and then so I followed her on Instagram because I didn't even know she had an Instagram. Instagram just suggested me on my explore page a picture of her, and I was like, oh my God, it's her from
That's her. That's
TikTok.
her.
Yeah. So I immediately went over there. I tried not to be too crazy. I liked three pictures and I followed her and I left one comment. And I say what the comment was in the video. Something it was something very innocuous. It was no big deal. It was just like saying something about how she's perfect the way she is or something like that. I something like that. And because she has these posts where she tries to endear herself to her audience, her young audience, and like say, "Oh, look, you know, I may be a 6'8" basketball star with 22,000 followers, but I have hard days too, guys. Being a tall girl is can be really hard, and you know, I have a birthmark on my leg, and I have imperfections too." And like, it just seems so performative. But I didn't like criticize her for it. I just said, you know, just in case she is insecure, which I don't think she is because she's actually objectively beautiful in the face as well,
Yeah.
which isn't always the case with these women. But yeah, I left that comment, and I just expected it was no big deal. But then, the next morning, I was like, oh yeah, how is she doing? And I checked back in, and her account is gone, and it's no longer on my followers list
Oh
and
crap.
or following list. And then I looked her up, and she was gone. And I asked one of my friends to look up her page, and he said that it was still there. And I saw it on Google, so it's like, okay, it's confirmed that she blocked me. And I was just so hurt because she is physically exactly my type, like to a T. You know how I said I like those pear-shaped women before?
Yeah.
Now it's the opposite. Like ever since I was
So
19 years old, it
thin,
became the
so
opposite.
thin from the bottom, but on top is where it starts to get like big. Is what you
But
like.
not round, like not fat, like V-shaped, like a masculine body shape,
Oh, okay,
where
okay.
they have big old lats and broad shoulders, and they don't have like fat on their lower body. It's like they look like they could be a man, but they don't have hair, and they look like women, and they don't have the right parts. So it's like a role reversal
Mm,
sort of thing. And those women just happen to be mostly like in the WNBA
yeah.
and like volleyball players and stuff like that because they're so athletically, and in the Olympics, a lot of them are rowers. So I was so upset because like she was like on like above everybody else to me, both figuratively and literally. Like all the other tall women that I was fans of, she was my favorite, and I was just so excited. And now I all of a sudden I'm cut off from it forever because Instagram doesn't just let you just make a new account and find somebody. They literally, like, if someone blocks you, any new account will no longer be able to see them.
Mm. So, but if
So,
that wasn't a feature, would you have like made a new account and followed her and talked to her again, or like?
well, I have like 2 or 3 other accounts, or maybe even 4. So, I would have just used one of those other ones. I wouldn't have made a new one.
Oh, like 6'7"? Yeah, like 6'7", you know? Sorry.
Well, she's so big.
So it was close. He was like 6'7", you know what I'm saying?
That's a good height, though.
That is a good height. There are a lot of top players like that in the NWNBA. So I guess another question I have for you is, for influencers and stuff, when you see these male Sigma guys like Andrew Tate, how does it really make you feel when you see that they're like, I guess, height maxing and all that other stuff? And also, what is a foid? Because I heard you say that in one of your videos, and I don't know what a foid is, dude. So
So I have a strong opinion on that. Before I answer it though, I'll just say that for that last video that I was mentioning about that Belgian girl,
yeah.
I also talked about 3 or 4 other women that have blocked me, along
Mm.
with the stories behind those and the reasons why in that video. And I talk about the overarching like like thing that applies to everyone. Like it's not just centered around me and my story. It's being used as a demonstration of the problem with modern women online being too quick to block. So I make it about the viewer as well.
Is that what a foid is? Like they're quick to block, or?
So basically, I don't like. I'm not a big fan of the word Floyd, but that's what the whole black pill like
Oh, okay.
audience on TikTok decided to start calling women, just women in general. And so it's like, femoid, but shortened to foid. And
Oh,
it's
okay.
like it's kind of a derogatory term. I don't see it that way. The reason I use the word in my post is because I see other black pill TikTokers using it in their posts, and theirs are doing well. And I'm like, okay, this is black pill
Oh,
adjacent. So for my search engine optimization, it would be on my best interest to use this word
and
to
use the
relate to my
buzzwords
target
that can
audience.
pop off the video.
Yeah, it's
That's fair.
nothing. There's
Okay.
no hatred behind it. There's no like, anything like that. It's purely like calculated
Mm.
for optimization. But yeah, a lot of whenever I use that word, I get a bunch of women and even some like male feminists in the comments like criticizing me for using the term. And I just apologize and tell them what I just told you.
You care. Okay.
And they usually aren't that, like forgiving though, 'cause it's like, okay, so you're just doing it for selfish reasons.
Oh, so you
Yeah,
hate women and use yourself for
yeah, I don't hate anyone. I'm just using it for,
yeah.
but basically, I'm gonna try to use it less. But if it fits for the situation, I'm not gonna like
If the
avoid
shoe
it.
fits, dude, come on. Yeah, because hey, then again, you also are. You're just a little tiny baby. You know, just a baby. Like meow, meow. You know what I'm saying? Are you a little cat boy?
Yeah, I'm not gonna hurt anybody, right?
Yeah. So why the
So what
cat?
was your other question?
Oh, wait, sorry. So the other question was, when it comes to these
Andrew Tate,
influencers, Andrew Tate. Yes, Andrew Tate. How does that make you feel?
Manosphere. You're talking about Manosphere red pill people.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't like them. There were a few that I used to like. Like there was this guy, Legion of Men. Have you heard of him?
I don't think so. No.
He- He's a YouTuber that goes over men's issues. He talks about it, and I agree with the majority of what he says. But like the thing is that they're really, really gung ho on traditional gender roles, which I'm not opposed to. I think that if somebody physically fits the description of an ideal feminine body or ideal male body for the purpose of those traditional gender roles, like tall, tall, broad-shouldered man who is able to be muscular, or not as tall, but women height can vary more, but it's more about like I was saying earlier, the feminine body shape that's like shaped to be able to have birth, to give birth more easily, and to like store fat deposits in excess without putting pressure on the organs so that they can have more energy for pregnancy. So it's like if you fit those gender types, then it makes sense to go for traditional gender roles. But if you are the opposite, then like if you're like me and you're small
They
and
kill
you're a
you.
framelit,
They kill you.
yeah. So it's like you're if you're a manlet and a framelit as a man, or if you're like a towering Amazon like warrior woman as a woman, it makes sense for the roles to be switched.
Mm.
And that's what I like. I enjoy, reversing those roles. And a lot of these red pill guys and their followers find that like pathetic, repulsive, disgusting, an abomination. They think that every short guy should just compensate and, you know, work out until they like are bodybuilders or whatever, and just wear lifts and maybe get leg lengthening surgery. But so I don't like the way they shoehorn every man into having to meet that kind of standard, even if they don't physically live up to it. Because there's nothing worse than knowing that you're an inferior version of something and there's absolutely nothing that you can do to change it. Um, so it's like, but at the same time, it makes sense for some people. I used to be just like them. I tried that for years with when I was talking about gym maxing earlier. I was as red pill as it gets. I wanted a trad wife, um, submissive. So it's like I know how they feel, but they want to force that onto me, and I explain why. And most of these guys are young, so it's like they don't quite understand. But it I didn't make myself this way. This happened on its own, involuntarily. The whole starting going from liking one type of woman to the complete opposite is like that happened in the blink of an eye. It's a dark, dark story that involves me going to the depths of my depression and almost doing something like bad. And I talked about this story in detail in like one of my first two videos on my channel. But I if something like that doesn't happen to you, if you are a short guy and you never just so happen to start switching to liking women that are the opposite of feminine traditionally, and like if that doesn't happen to you and you still are attracted to the feminine ones, then you're not going to be comfortable switching gender roles. That's going to feel humiliating, deeply, deeply humiliating. So I'm not going to force it on them, but I do point it out as a possibility to try and make people who do happen to go that route feel more comfortable, um, like deviating from the norm. Because there's too many people. I'm worried about people keeping this all to themselves, especially the tall women. If there are tall women out there who like cute short guys, then I wish they wouldn't be too embarrassed to publicly come out about that.
Yeah.
It's like less being gay is more accepted than that, it seems.
Yeah.
So
Oh, another recent thing I saw on your stories was this guy who made another account. He talking about how you're kind of pushing this thing, how if some 15-year-old boy sees this and is freaked about his height, he might commit,
yeah,
in his own life. Um, do
yeah.
you think that maybe you're kind of pushing this a little bit too hard or not hard enough? Because some people might think your content is fear mongering to those younger kids who are worried about their height because they see that as this big thing when in reality maybe it isn't that big of a deal or maybe it is. It's just, yeah, how do you feel about that situation?
Yeah, so I didn't even read more than a couple sentences into that because it was so like the vitriol of the message made me concerned for like, my not my safety, but I'm not going to go into exactly why I was concerned, but
He might
um
find you and like kill you or something.
well, no, I'm not concerned about that. I don't I'm concerned about him becoming a malicious troll, that's all.
Oh, like if
And
you feed into it, then he'll come back and say, "Oh, he'll respond to me. I'm like his number one day one troll. I'm the big D, the big T."
maybe, yeah, but I could tell he genuinely hated me and that made me uncomfortable. But basically, I don't make my content targeting anybody like under 18. That's not intentional at all. In fact, I didn't expect it at all. I thought that, most of these people that be watching my stuff would be around my age.
Like
Um,
25,
but
28, 30, so on and so forth.
yeah, yeah, 20s basically. It was a surprise, but it also made me feel like proud of Gen Z, even though I'm almost Gen Z, younger Gen Z, because they're more rebellious against what the millennials used to think was rebellious, which is being, this extreme woke leftist. Like the Gen Z is um, rebelling against that, but it's also doing what I wanted to do, which is adopting the language of the woke,
Yeah.
like microaggressions, prejudice, systematic inequity, stuff like that, and adopting it into the black pill sphere. So I was already planning to do that. So I go on TikTok and I see all these younger people doing that exact same thing, and it made me feel like hopeful for the future that like they are enlightened. They have reached this point of what I call the dark enlightenment, which is shining the bright light and revealing the dark, ugly truth that no one wants to face. And that's what I'm doing, and it needs to be done. So if if people that aren't intended to see it just so happens to see it, that's a result of putting the truth out there. It's going
Yeah.
to be found by whoever finds it. And honestly, like when I was 15, that was the age that everything changed for me. That was the age that I realized that I was inferior. And that was before any of this black pill stuff. I didn't even learn that word until like 2017 or something. So when I was 15, that was 2012. And yeah, I never heard of Hype Pill. I'd never read looksmax.org. it was all based on my own observations of my life that I went black pill.
Okay.
And so what I'm saying is if I would have encountered something like this, yes, it definitely would have greatly upset me,
Yeah.
but it also would be like a source of community and a source of, what do you call it?
Familiarity.
Validation.
Oh yeah, validation too.
Validation instead of invalidation, which is what a lot of these other people do. They invalidate your lived experience by saying, no, that's not true. No, it's just personality. No, you can do just anything that a tall person can do. Oh, but no, tall people and short people, they have the exact same income, levels. All these people are invalidating a truth.
Yeah.
And so we're all experiencing that together. But at the same time, it is really deeply upsetting. But when I was that age, like between 15 and 19, I discovered things online that were just as disturbing, that pushed me towards that point of almost doing that thing that you mentioned, seppuku or whatever. I
Sudoku.
think I can use that one.
You can
Yeah,
you can
yeah, we
just
can
say
use
it.
that.
You can just say it. I don't care.
Oh, okay,
You can
okay.
like
Well, you know what I
Simus.
mean
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah. So
sorry, can I
no.
just finish on
Yeah,
that?
you can finish. You can finish.
So, so basically, what I saw was a feminist forum where they like talk about women's rights and stuff like that. And they had this whole big long thread with thousands of them talking about how worthless and inferior short guys were.
Hmm.
And I just read one thing after another after another. And that same year, or not that same, when I was 15 was when I discovered all the stuff about all the chemicals that stunted my growth.
Yeah.
Um, that was when I ended up getting my growth plates closed when I was 12. So I discovered that they were closed when I was 14 or 15. And then I went down this road of studying all these chemicals. So I was already super, super depressed at that age. So if they'll discover mine or they'll discover theirs. It almost seems like it would be better to discover mine first, because theirs is absolutely like traumatizing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
to come across that.
Okay. Um, Another question I have is when it comes to these short, you know, not discrepancies, but like short bias. You actually found my channel through a video on TikTok that I posted 2023, by the way, uh November's Eve, or not November, New Year's Eve. I said November. Anyway, New Year's Eve. It was the Chris Morgan edit I had made 2023. And are you well like traversed in his story?
Is he the
The
guy who
the bagel
died?
store. No. He's not dead.
Oh, the
The
bagel
bagel
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Um,
mean, I guess you probably know more about him than me, but I talked about him in my video about short man
I saw that
syndrome.
video actually. I did, because I remember you were like, "Hey, I made this video on my YouTube channel, and you spell
Mhm.
YouTube all like crazy." So I'm like, "Okay, I gotta check this out. I gotta check this out,
Yeah.
dude." So I checked it out, and you have your Fallout gameplay. I'm like, "Okay, this guy knows ball. Okay," and you brought that up, and you brought the Chris Morgan video, and you even played the video. And honestly, I do agree. And the main thing is this, right? If you boil it down, the actual event
Mhm.
of the video, he is a man having a mental breakdown and then made fun of because he's short, and ways being made fun of is girls. But when he was about 50 years old, about late 40s, I believe, at that time.
Wow.
And yeah, so after all those years of having stuff like that build up or whatever, you kind of explode, and people made fun of it. There are people that I think the Tonight Show made a musical about him, making fun of him and his height, and it was just really bad in my opinion. So like, just from what you at least know from that, like, was maybe that some sort of, because did you see that when it first came out back in 2019?
Yeah, I did, and it bothered me a lot more back then than it did now. Because even though I have been a masochist since 2015,
A
um,
masochist. Wait. Why a
yeah.
masochist?
Well, like I was saying, how I switched from like wanting to be a dominant alpha male and be
Oh,
tall and
yeah.
strong,
You
whatever,
like to
to the
kind of be like,
opposite.
yeah, you like being submissive and humiliated. Like, isn't it a public
Yeah,
thing too, like a public humiliation kink?
sure. I mean, yeah, I mean, like that would be cool. It would be cool to like have a leash, walked around in public. That'd be fun.
Oh, so like you want like a
That's
tall girl to leash you and walk you around
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, I would understand if she wouldn't want to do it, but that would be cool. Um,
in your cat ears too?
sure. If in the Bay Area, that's actually like no one would bat an eye. Like
Mm,
if I did that here in the small town I'm in, people they would be accepting of it, but it would really
be
like
strange.
yeah, then there might be people who would complain. But I actually wore the cat ear and collar with this girl that I met in Oakland and walked around Lake Merritt. Um, and all I got were smiles from people who thought I was badass and brave for doing that.
Yeah. Yes,
So I think
it takes a
that's
special
the
kind of
one.
person to do that in, out in real life. You just wear whatever they want.
Mhm. Yeah. So what was your question though?
Oh yeah, my question
Oh
it
yeah,
was just
about
pretty
that
yeah.
bagel.
The bagel dude, Chris Morgan. His name is Chris Morgan. He did have a stroke in 29 in November that same year,
Oh
unfortunately. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That
He's
sucks.
not dead though.
Um,
Allegedly, he's just is like being taken care of by his father. Allegedly.
that
So
still really sucks.
yeah.
But yeah, so I saw it, and what I'm saying is that like in 2019, I was still sensitive to all this, and that sensitivity made it more exciting. So like recently, my libido and virility has declined, and all this stuff just isn't that exciting to me anymore. But I felt like part of the excitement of it back then was because of it still hurt me,
Mm.
and it disturbed me and traumatized me and made me feel horrible about myself, and I was able to like convert that into like sexual energy, and it made it a lot more powerful. So when I saw his video, I felt the same way, um and like it was really disturbing, but it still like fueled this, you know kink or whatever. But it's like I s- I'm jealous of him. I wish that I was that short. I
You
want to be
wish
shorter.
really?
Yeah.
Why?
I made a
Oh,
video 2 weeks ago about that's called I wish I was shorter or something like that.
well,
If anyone wants to see it.
I think he's 5 foot actually, or 4'11",
Yeah,
give or
he's
take.
5 feet.
Oh, so you looked into his stuff. Okay. Um.
Mhm.
So why do you want to be shorter? Do you want to be humiliated like that in public?
Yeah. I mean, I went over it like in super detail in that why I wish I was shorter video a couple weeks ago, but yeah, you got it right. I want to be, I want to feel humiliated. I want to be towered over. I want to feel small. Like I want there to be a greater height disparity between me and super tall women,
Yeah.
basically. And the height that I would love to be most is 4'10". No shorter
Really?
than that.
Really? Is that your
Yeah.
golden spot? Like not too tall, not too
Yeah.
short, just right?
Yeah, not a midget, not a legally, I don't, whatever legal term it is, before under 4'10" is considered a little person, midget, whatever. So it's like I want to be as short as I could be while still being considered like a normal type of person.
Mm.
Um, and that's, I've actually even considering leg shortening surgery at some
Really?
point if I ever become a multimillionaire.
I thought you
I'm
would.
seriously.
I thought you'd want maybe some sort of height increasing surgery, or at least something. I didn't think you'd want to be shorter, but I guess okay. So your humiliation kink is it purely sexual, or is it just like is there anything else with that, or do you just like it because you feel good sexually because of that?
I like to feel helpless. I like to feel like like feminized in a way, infantilized. I like to see myself as being like subservient, or like she's my mommy or something.
Oh yeah,
I like to look
mommy.
up to her and be like, yeah, like pick me up, you know. So that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Um, but that's also sexual. But at the same time, it's a parental thing, or it's like a, what do you call it?
Maternal is
I
like
think
a age thing. Do
yeah,
you want to like regress?
maternal. Well, not really, like, but sort of. But it's like it is maternal. It's like I want to feel like also protected and enveloped and
Just loved and
um
like cared for.
completely, well, yeah, loved, disciplined, completely, like to be able to completely surrender all of my power and just relax in the knowledge and feeling that I'm completely, in her arms or whatever.
Yeah. Because I've
Yeah, kind of
seen
like what Christians do with God.
a Christian God, bro. Because I've seen some of your videos on TikTok, a little bit of them, and the comments, some of them, they always kind of trail back to, is this satire? Because in some of the videos you talk about the height stuff, I guess Chad lit maxing was, because would that be right? Chad lit maxing, being a short dude, short maxing, height maxing, whatever. And then you do
Yeah.
those serious videos, and then you do another video in your cat costume, your
Mhm.
special iconic suit, like what you're doing right now, and you're like
Yeah.
on the bed, you're like doing this, like meow, stuff like that. And the people see, is this satire, or is this genuinely who you are as a person?
It's genuine.
It's
Yeah.
genuine.
I might do the cat boy videos less often now on TikTok because they always get suppressed. And the last one I put so much work into. It switches back and forth between, a 7'2" like Dommy mommy, and then me like being looked down on from what I like set the camera as her height. And it was so hard to like do the logistics of that, all the different shots, make it align with the sound. That was the hardest part. I re-recorded that like 8 times to memorize what was being said in the sound so that I could like mouth it perfectly
Mm,
alongside what was being said. And
really?
it was just like, yeah, it took hours to make that. And then I had to edit it, you know, make it go along with the beats, and it's just, and then it got 4,000 views, which is like one, I don't know, that's like 1/5 of what I would get normally or something,
I mean,
like the
it's
average.
TikTok. Like, the thing with TikTok is I post videos on there, and it's either it gets under 1,000 views, but like gets good engagement, kind of in a way, or it pops off 10 to 20,000, so on and so forth. Because it's very algorithm based, and I've actually talked to some of my friends about this who want to get into content creation. The best platform to really build a community in is YouTube, because it's actually concrete. If you get 100 subscribers, I have 245 right now. I lost 3 like a week. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did, but maybe because I haven't
Yeah,
posted a lot.
I hate it when that happens, man. I hate it.
Because it's not even like I'm posting videos and they're bad, or they're like not high quality. I haven't posted in a few weeks. My last video was a podcast episode. So I'm like, guys, dude, it's November. Give me some time, okay? Jeez. Um,
Yeah.
but like, if you have 100 or whatever subscribers on YouTube, you will see that reflected in your actual videos. But let's say you have like millions of followers on TikTok, your videos could maybe barely over get like 20K. Just as an example, because it's so easy to get followers on TikTok, but it's harder to build a fan base on these faster based platforms, just because of how fast they are. That's what it is. It's
Yeah. How
spontaneous.
many followers do you have on TikTok?
On TikTok, I have about 1,800, almost 2,000.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's different for me or whatever, but
Because
I've
are
built a
you
much,
16K, right?
no, 8.2
8.2K.
on but it's like I built a much stronger, like more well aligned like community on
In just a
TikTok.
year. In just a year, too, is what I've
Well, I
noticed.
mean, it hasn't. I mean, maybe it's been faster than some people experience, but I've seen people blow past me all the time. But it's like it's been. I started it in April, I think. Yeah, I started the TikTok in April,
This
and
year or 24?
25,
Okay. Okay.
20, yeah, this year. So, um, what's happened is because there's messaging on there,
Mm.
a lot of people message me and I respond to them. And I was super responsive to comments. I responded to every comment up until like 2 months ago. But yeah, so I've made friends, I've gotten closer to people, and I've also lost friends and pissed some people off and pushed some people away and but I never let people walk all over me, but as a result I built like this very very close following of people that I talk to regularly that watch all my stories and respond. But I've also noticed that my minimum views on TikTok has gone up as I've gained followers. So like what you were
That does
saying,
happen a lot. Yep.
yeah, you're saying you either get 1,000 or 20,000 plus. For me, it's like my lowest usually is like 12K
Mm.
and these days, and the average is like 25, whereas it used to be way, 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 way less than that.
Yeah.
So that's why I mentioned that the Catboy video consistently getting 4,000 views is an outlier. And I think that TikTok's AI has picked up on um
The sexual
the
quote unquote
deviant.
nature of it too, right?
Yeah, even though the reason I made the video is because that specific sound had been used in similar videos, all talking about dommy mommies and stuff. I had come across one of them and I was like, "Oh my God, I love this sound. I have to do this with Catboy." And theirs was way more what do you call
Provocative
it?
and vulgar and
Yeah,
yep.
yeah, way more vulgar than mine. Yet theirs got like 100,000 views and mine got 4,000. So it's hard to predict that kind of thing. But yeah, my TikTok, it might be unique in that regard. Um, that the minimum has gone up a lot,
Yeah.
and I have a lot closer. My community on TikTok is stronger, but they also are more closely aligned to my beliefs and my content. Whereas on YouTube, I've got tons and tons of trolls and people that disagree with me.
That want
And
to kill you. Well, not
well, the
exactly,
TikTok
but
guy was the one that wanted to kill me.
yeah. I mean, look at the content you do as well. You do these like height maxing, not height max, but I guess um being an advocate for short men, exactly. I know. I actually saw one of your recent videos. It was this dude named, I think, Immortal Tall Guy or Tall Immortal or
Yeah.
whatever, and he made a video like,
Mhm.
I think the video. So your video was 2 months ago. I think the video talking about that was about a video made a month ago. It was about 4 months ago in real life time. He made a video and he already had like 20 some thousand views on it and already had a bunch of
Within a
followers.
week and a half.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, a week and a half.
within 2 weeks, he had 20K plus, and that was a horrible time. Like I was losing my mind,
Yeah,
and
you were jealous. You were talking about how like you just want to.
mhm.
Ugh.
I didn't want to do
Oh, okay,
anything bad.
not like that, but you're just like, come on, I'm doing this, but this guy comes in, copying my whole
Yeah,
flow, and then just gets better outcomes, and they're probably younger than
yeah,
me.
they are. The person's 21 and I'm almost 30, and I'm really the age pill is hitting strong for me. I'm really like the height pill, I'm totally past it, and that's why I'm so emotionally comfortable making all these videos with a smile on my face. But the age pill stuff is that's my new challenge, because it's like I may not be physically aging too badly yet, but my my levels of achievement, I'm a high ambitious person, and I'm not satisfied with how much work I put into my life, how hard I tried. I got good grades, I went to college, I came out and started my own small business,
Yeah,
and
what
I've
do you
made all
sell,
these
by the
different
way?
I sell different teas. They're
Oh, okay.
like yeah, teas that are like psychoactive, but I'm not going to say specifically just yet. Um
Is
because
that
I'm waiting
secret?
to announce that. It
Ooh.
won't be a secret forever, but there are some select people who know that have bought from me, from my audience. But yeah, so I built the small business. Everything I've done, from 2019, I got a cool job in 2019 too. I worked for a cannabis startup and in a corporate role right out of college because I just got lucky. That was the only time I ever got lucky because I met the president of the company at a bar. But
Mm.
after that, it was just bad luck from then on. And I got older, things stagnated, the economy went bad,
Yeah, COVID
COVID
happened.
hit.
Yeah, COVID was bad for a lot of things. That was so terrible.
Yeah, well, COVID helped me in a way because I was able to work from home. And when I quiet quit because they weren't respecting my contributions, I started only working for 2 hours a day and getting paid for 8. And the rest of the time I was building the business. So that the whole lockdowns helped me create what I was am able to earn income from now, even though I don't make that much money. But it paved the way, but it destroyed the economy, and now just things keep getting worse. And so it's like opportunities to climb the social ladder are fewer and farther between now than ever. And to see someone just luck it out and at a really young age, knowing that they're going to get to enjoy, you know, they're going to get to enjoy their lives for a decade or two longer than you, you know, in prosperity, and also have the feeling of self-worth that comes from success at that time, the confidence that it gives you to go and ask women out. I have no confidence to ask women out anymore because I feel inadequate, like financially and all these different ways. So I'm waiting. I'm just hoping I don't age too much by then. But yeah, those are all the reasons why I feel that way. And like you were saying, I made a video about it, and I'm actually posting a video tomorrow about burnout. It's called "Chronic Burnout is Destroying Men." My breakdown story. So I had a mental breakdown a couple of weeks ago,
Oh,
and
I
everything
saw
I just
that.
mentioned. Yeah, yeah, you saw it on the community post.
Yeah, and I saw because you just had like so much things going on with your business and your social medias and all. You just couldn't keep up with it all, and that's why we had to reschedule a lot of the time too. Was my schedule, your schedule. You just had stuff going on, business stuff going on, and yes, one of my most important things for my podcast is just to make sure that my guest is in a nice filming environment where they can be genuine and not have to worry about something. So I'm always like okay with rescheduling how many times I have to, whether it be one, two, three, four, five,
Okay.
six, seven, and being honest as
That's
well, and just being yourself in the podcast. My point of my podcast is just to explore different walks of life, like you know, how many people can sit and say, "Oh yeah, I've met Charlotte Mack," saying, "Oh, I know him. I know what he's about." You know, not many people can say that, and many more will be able to
no.
say that because hopefully they watch this episode and they say, "Hey, I know more about this guy. I know more about these guys' troubles and struggles." This sort of person, because me personally, I know those rich people. They say, "Oh, money isn't everything." I mean, a lot of the time it is because they have the money.
Yeah.
Same for height. Oh,
Yeah.
height isn't everything. But for me, I never really had to face that myself because I'm a decently tall person. So when I was watching your videos, I'm like, okay, this guy he's kind of is he ODing? Is he doing too much? But I don't really understand it too much because again, I don't face those kind of things. So that's why it's very important that I have someone like you come on the podcast to really kind of, I guess, educate me and the viewers. Um,
That's really cool. Thanks
yeah,
for having me on. And I would actually rather be my height than your height, believe it or not.
yeah. I mean, it'd be a lot harder, maybe. Like I'm like a chubby guy, so it might be a little bit harder for the
Yeah,
girls
but that's
to.
you can change that.
Oh, I
You
am,
like
I
right
am. Don't worry, I am. I lost 11 pounds already, dude, in the past like month, dude. I'm doing good, really good.
congrats. That's pretty fast.
uh,
Yeah, the reason is though is that because the worst thing for me, and I talk about this in the video about why I wish I was shorter. The
mm,
worst thing to me is being average, and even though 6 foot isn't average, it's 3 inches above in the United States. It's still considered average to women. They look at a guy who's 6 feet and they say, "Okay, you're the minimum height requirement." But I wish I could have a guy who was 6'5". So it's like you're still in that position where you have to feel inferior to people that are taller
yeah,
and like but you're considered, you also don't get to feel submissive and dominated by empowering women either. So
It's like
it
a
seems
double-edged
like
sword. I don't get to be dominated by super smoking hot mommies, but then these are because there are a lot of tall guys in where I to live because it's like a country kind of town, a lot of hardworking people. But at least for me, I've been pretty confident and comfortable in my skin. Because
that's good.
one thing I had to realize really early on is, especially in like the entertainment business, there will always be someone doing better than you. So you can't be jealous of them. You can look towards what they got and be like, hey, that's good for them. I'm doing what I got to do. You know?
Yeah, that's hard for me. That's hard.
Yeah.
I try to like
Yeah.
ignore it. Like what I tried to do is when I found that guy, after I started seeing all this stuff, I unfollowed him. I did whatever I could to not see his videos. And but sometimes things would happen. Like I was watching another video from this Asian guy. He's like a big YouTuber, and he was talking about um, I think he might have been talking about burnout actually. He was talking about something in the modern day. And then all of a sudden he started talking about hype pill. And I did not expect that at all. And then he actually used that guy's TikTok. It was his first one he ever made. It got 250,000 views within a week. And like my first TikTok got 1,000 views.
Yeah.
So I see that, and not only did he get all these views, but now he's getting put on a big YouTuber's video that gets 400K views, and it shows his TikTok scam.
Username, his handle.
Yeah, so it's like when I saw that, I had a mental breakdown. Another time I saw it when I was just looking through a playlist that my video appeared in, and then I saw his video appeared in it, and it also showed his views that I was trying to not look at. So it's like it seems like God or the universe likes to rub things in my face, even when I'm actively trying to not expose
And not
myself
the
to it.
good stuff like Dobby Mommy stuff. It's just like, yeah, say,
Yeah,
feast your eyes,
yeah.
cry and weep.
Yeah, I went a little crazy, and I had a lot of people, especially on YouTube, trolls trying to make it worse.
Mhm.
That really hurt. A lot of people, trying to I don't know, rub it in my face themselves. Um
And say, oh,
but
this guy's
yeah,
doing
I
better than you, stuff like that.
yeah, basically people saying that my videos weren't as good, and that's why, which really hurt. Because I am trying my best. And I actually talked to the guy on TikTok, the guy himself, and we had a long back and forth conversation. We came to understand each other. We became friendly towards each other, and I like was 100% upfront. I sent him a bunch of voice messages explaining exactly how the whole situation made me feel without holding anything back.
Yeah.
And so we're all chill, everything's good, but I had to unfollow him because I couldn't take seeing his things pop up on the For You page anymore. You know.
Have you seen his stuff recently?
No, and I don't
I
want to
don't
hear about it
worry.
or
I haven't looked. I just wanted to see if like you have and like what you're,
I
you
saw
know.
he posted one more video that I saw, and it got 2,000 views in a day. His second ever video. My second ever video got like 5 to 10 views in a day.
Yeah.
It like even though back when I saw that video, I was able to get 2,000 views in a day, but these days I haven't gotten 2,000 views in a day for 9 weeks. Like my channel is in decline,
Really.
and it really hurts. And just to know that I've made 37 videos and put like 15 hours of work in every single one, and like following all the guidance and just years and years of search engine optimization experience, marketing, digital social media, stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I've got all the experience and I'm doing everything right, and it's not working.
So right
So,
now, what does your average, at least in one day, 24-hour viewer count look like for a video?
well, like it's probably around 1,200. Well, for one video, okay,
Yeah.
for one video,
Just in 24
lately,
hours. Yep.
lately it's been about 1,000.
That's good. That's
But
actually pretty good.
the last well, back in August,
Yeah.
And like back in like even June, but August and yeah, just basically all of August, it was like double that. You know, I was getting 2,000 views
On
in a
YouTube,
day
right?
in one video. Yeah, on
Okay.
YouTube in August. That's average. There was one or two that did like more than that.
Mm.
And there was a time before when the first day was like 200 views, and then the second or third day it would go up to 1,000.
Yeah.
But now everything happens in the first 24 hours, and then it starts to taper off, and it's really disappointing and sad. And it's like, yeah, now last week my video got 600 views in 24 hours. So that's a real big decline.
I mean, you have 1,790 followers, or like 1.79K or something like that. And
Yeah.
at least in my opinion, if you're able to at least have a good chunk of your subscriber number watch your videos, that's pretty good. Especially in 24 hours, 1,000 views, 600 views. My last video only got 45 views in my last podcast episode. Now,
Oh, I
now,
hear that.
admittedly, like promotion, this and that, I don't know all the stuff you know, and I'm sure if I did know, it probably would have done way better because
Thumbnails are a big deal.
thumbnails, yeah, a lot, at least majority of all my episodes get like at least over 200 views, easy, because they're popular and I promote them as much as I can, stuff like that. But to be fair, I don't even have I think, yeah, less than a quarter of your subscribers on YouTube too. So there's a lot of things that kind of go into play. But I'll say during the holidays, like October, November, December, just as an example, 3 months, it is kind of slow because people have stuff
Oh,
going on.
really?
Yeah.
I
I'm
heard that
facing a
November.
decline. Yeah.
I heard that from October, November, and December it was at some of its highest, and then it tanked in January. So, but maybe that's incorrect. But that's what I've heard.
I
But
could be wrong, but just from what I'm looking at, because again,
yeah,
people,
me too.
they're going out more, this and that, and you also got to kind of accommodate for the fact that your audience, let's say some of them are in high school or these younger people, during this time of the season, they are going out and doing things, so you are not able to watch your stuff, or maybe people are growing up, they have jobs now, because you've been doing this for a year on YouTube, right? So you also got to accommodate for your audience and what they have going on as well in their personal lives. So you won't always have the
Yeah,
exact same numbers every episode or every video, so on and so forth, because there's so many factors that play into this kind of stuff.
yeah, like not a full year though. But the idea is that
Close.
yeah, not 8 or 9 months. But the idea that I have is that like subscribers are less important now than they were 10 plus years ago. YouTube's algorithm is supposed to find an audience beyond your subscribers. If your thumbnail works, it has a good click-through rate. If your title is intriguing, and it's like a snowball thing where, if the first few people catch it. And so the idea is that your subscribers are the test pool
Yeah.
of the impressions, and if the subscribers aren't clicking on it, then what you get beyond the subscribers is less. So it's like that's one of the benefits of being a small channel, like under 500 subs, is that YouTube tests your stuff with new people more.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's part of the reason why I used to get more views when the channel was smaller. And then after I monetized, it started going downhill. And so it's like my subscribed to not subscribed viewer ratio is
It's
like 60% subscribers
That's
when it
good.
should be like 20% subscribers and 80% non.
Oh, I get what
Because
you're saying.
you want
Because
the more
new
people,
people are checking it out.
yeah, you want more. Like that's how it used to be for me before this decline. I was like 70% not subscribed, and that seems to be a healthy place to be.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I'm gonna keep going. So Loser Maxing, he's another black pill YouTuber.
Yeah.
He just posted a video yesterday about making content like this.
Yeah.
And he said that he actually talked about me in the video. He said that like I should just put gameplay and not show my face, which I'm not gonna do entirely. I'm always gonna show my face at least a little bit. The other thing he said was that like I'm too professional, like my intros and hooks are too like well. There's the cinematography is too good, all that stuff, and it makes it look inauthentic. And that it's better just to like go straight into it with like I don't know a
Just
conversational
raw,
tone.
like what we are doing right now, just
Yeah.
raw.
Yeah, but I didn't really think about that like that much until recently because to me, like on TikTok, that hook, with what they call it is retention editing, a change in angle every less than 5 seconds, and that is what performs the best on TikTok. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna apply that to YouTube, but maybe it's not the right way to do it on YouTube. I don't know.
I mean, for
I'm just
longer form content, one person kind of comes to mind to be like iDubbbz. Do you know who iDubbbz is?
yeah.
When during his peak, he has his bad unboxing videos. I love those videos when I was younger, right?
Me
But if
too.
yeah, if you want to do like a different kind of change in your style for these informational videos, I could totally see like just you sitting on your couch like this, having your little microphone, because I can see how it's more entertaining when you're seeing the person you're talking to rather than just it cutting to gameplay. That's just at least my
Mhm.
thing. I like being able to see the person I'm like listening to, and you can have things pop up on screen too, but have you be the main focal point rather than like I guess the point itself, but I guess prioritize the point and yourself as well, because people are here to hear the point, but also see you at the same time. You know?
Yeah, I've seen videos of people talking to like talking head videos get way more views than these gameplay Black Pill story videos. Like there's this one guy Snooks, his uh video was how I ended up being a 35-year-old loser or something, and it was 55 minutes long, and it got 600,000 views within a month, and like it inspired a bunch of copycats, including me. I made a video, um, like the anxiety of being a 29-year-old failure. And that was one of my best performing videos, but it definitely didn't pop off. But I didn't use any gameplay footage in that. And that's actually the video I'm posting tomorrow is a totally like talking video, a lot like that other one.
That's good.
Long talking head. But I'm also gonna play around with just like showing myself in the intro and outro. Um, and doing mostly gameplay too. I'm gonna try that a little bit because it's like it's way easier to record a video with a lot more improv when you're not worrying about looking at yourself in the camera
Yeah.
for
I
some reason.
I get what you're saying, because I see you like you're doing your hair a lot of the beginning part of the video, or I guess the recording. But at least how I do it, I mean, look, I got my merch on. Oh, you should probably should start doing merch eventually. That'd be nice too. But I got my merch on. I got my little do rag on. It's me and my girlfriend. Me and Masato. I got this big coat on. It's
Nice.
propeller hat or whatever. Um, I guess one way I kind of got over that was just, I mean, no matter what you do, people are gonna laugh or whatever. So just, I guess, be yourself and don't be afraid to be out there. Like look at my whole setup right now. You know what I'm saying?
It looks stylish,
The outfit
you know?
or the entire room.
Yeah, the outfit is fashionable.
Thank you. I got the yellow, the blue, the red, the red. I got the whole shebang going on, dude.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. So, yeah, I just it's not just that, it's just like something about like seeing myself in the camera. The other thing is like I can see myself here and I'm talking just fine, but that's because I'm talking to you and it
yeah,
doesn't feel like high stakes. Whereas when I'm recording, it feels high stakes. And I guess I have ADHD. Well, I do have ADHD. So it's like I'm forgetting what I'm going to say every other sentence, having to repeat things over and over again, having to think about, okay, in what order am I going to say these things? I have to refer to an outline, make sure I hit the points in the right order and do like storytelling techniques where I, foreshadow something or build suspense. And all that takes a lot of thought. And I end up taking hours to record and have to go through a shit ton of footage.
and do you edit? Do you have like a laptop or something or a desktop?
I've got a nice PC. I got
Okay.
it's a Cyber Power, and it's got a really good graphics card.
Oh, I got cyber power too. What?
You do?
Yeah, it's
Nice.
a 3060 GPU with an Intel i7 11 gen CPU.
Nice. I only know the graphics card. It's an GeForce GTX 4070.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Dude, that's good.
yeah, I got it a year ago. I was afraid that Taiwan was going to get attacked, so I bought all new technology because I was like, because if they get attacked, like the price of a computer is going to like quadruple
Skyrocket.
at least. Yeah, so I got a new tablet, a new computer, new phone, all at once. I spent a shit ton of money, but yeah, I'm able to edit, store tons of footage. I could play any game I want, but I haven't played a game since June because I'm too busy.
Yeah. You're on
But
something. You're a businessman.
yeah, but I liked Fallout London a lot, and I recorded like I don't know 40 hours of game footage that I am slowly working my way through. So
Okay.
I used to play that game is nice because it took me so long to get that mod set up,
Oh,
so
it's a
so
mod?
long.
I'm not
Fallout
too.
London is a mod for Fallout 4.
Oh, okay. Because I've played 3 and I played 4 for the PS4 like a few times. I'm not well adversed in that kind of stuff too. So like what games do you
Yeah,
like? Do you just like just Fallout as an example, or like what else?
I love Bethesda games. That's what Fallout, Oblivion, Skyrim, Morrowind.
Okay.
Fallout New Vegas is the best, but I've played like 800 hours of that over the last 12 years or whatever. So I'm I've never played like I never had Fallout 4 until this year. I know that the gunplay is really fun. But the game itself I didn't really like it because of the way that the talking was. There wasn't enough branching paths, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I like games with good environmental storytelling like that, where you can come across a scene and piece together what happened there. I like RPGs, like mainly Western RPGs that where you like build your character and it's got like I don't know, either post-apocalyptic or medieval style stuff. I like Fable, the Fable series. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I have actually. I haven't played any of the Fable
Yeah, that
games, but yeah.
is it. They're good. I like strategy games like Civilization 5. That's one of my favorite games.
Okay.
Um, that's an old one from 2009, but it's still the best one. But yeah, I started modding a lot. The Sims 3, like all of
Everyone's
the
heard of
games
The
that I like.
Sims.
Yeah, like the games that Grand Theft Auto, of course, but the
That's
games
true.
that I like can be modded a lot. I like
Yeah.
games because, but I used to never do mods until like 3 years ago, or no, it was 2021 that I started with Skyrim because I wanted to bring my fantasy to
The
reality.
Dobby Mom,
You know,
I already know what kind of mods you got in Skyrim. The Skyrim,
yeah,
those 18 plus mods. I know what kind of
no,
man
no,
you.
I don't.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't have that. I don't need it because what excites me isn't, you know, that kind of thing. It's just simply the height difference, the implication, the relationship and the dynamic of she's my provider,
Mm,
because my character I like to play is like small and weak. And my idea is that he got transported from the future, from a world that's like totally polluted, and he grew up eating all terrible processed food, and he got like transported somehow through time and space into this medieval world and gets taken under the wing of this like towering
goddess.
aristocrat queen. Yeah, who just like protects him. Because in Bethesda games, I think it might be all of them, but it might just be Elder Scrolls. The scale of the person's body, there's an equation that affects the output of damage they do. So the tallest character does more damage, and it's like that just adds to the whole lore of the
Like,
situation, you know?
oh, mommy, please help me defeat this boss. Come help me out. I can't
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, and like then you get to do these boxing matches with like this Viking woman in Whiterun.
Yeah,
Have you played Skyrim?
I have, but like many moons ago, dude. It was so many years ago. But that is probably one of the best Bethesda, if not the best game, straight up. From that
It,
like whole.
it's I
Or,
it's good, but I don't think it's the best. But
okay. Not
it's like
best. Like everyone knows about Skyrim. Who, if you don't know about Skyrim, you're AI robot, not real, or you're too young.
yeah, exactly. But it's like you have this Viking woman trying to like fight you, and you do this boxing match. And what I did is I made her scale really tall, and
Oh
to like
no.
test out the boxing thing. And when she's normal size and you're normal size, it takes her like 15, 20 hits to bring you down. But when I changed my size to be like 4'10" equivalent, and her to be like 7'4", she she literally gets all my health in less than 3 hits.
And
And
you like that, like
yeah,
kink
that's
wise?
how much stuff. That's how much height affects the power of your character in
Oh,
those
okay.
games.
No, I know
But
that. Yeah.
so yeah, I would like to be pummeled.
You would like, so
That would
you
be
would
nice.
like a woman to beat you up who's taller than you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't
honestly,
don't knock my teeth out though.
that, don't worry, and I'm sure no one's gonna yuck your yum. I think that's pretty fair, honestly.
Yeah.
That's not really anything bad. I think that's pretty tame compared to a lot of other stuff other people might say or want, especially on the internet too. Like,
Yeah.
would she have a leash on you too while she's doing like, psh, psh, psh?
Well, I mean, that would make it a little bit in what do you call it? Not like practical,
Yeah.
but with the lead, what would make sense is if I disobeyed, like her pet, I was naughty or something, and then she said, "Come here," and then she just slapped me. That would make sense with the leash.
So, um, I guess I don't know if this. Okay, I would say this is like a personal question per se, but if you don't want to answer this, this is okay. I'm just asking because like you seem to be really open about this kind of stuff, which I like. You know, it's really nice.
Mhm.
What about pegging?
Sure.
So you'd want her to peg
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. I mean, I like the normal way too, but
Okay.
yeah, I'm interested in that.
Would it be like the Amazonian position, the normal way, like you with her or whatever? You know, she like
Um,
has your legs up and she's like, you know.
well, with the normal way, like that's me, like us facing each other is what I wouldn't want to do her from behind because that would be too dominant, you know.
Oh
I would
yeah.
want to be in front of her, her like spooning me like this and pulling me in and her like doing most of the work like on top.
Oh,
But
okay, that's fair.
basically missionary position. Um,
Really?
so yeah, so that's what I would enjoy, but also with her facing my backside as well, what you mentioned earlier.
So you thought about all of this, huh?
Yeah, it's
So
been 10 years.
that's fair. Are you like a super gooner?
No, no, I kind of used to be, um, like when this first started happening because it was so traumatic and so um disturbing that was the only way for me to process it. Um, but like I don't have time to think about this stuff that much these days. I I'm not as sexual anymore. I just don't
You're
I don't
busy.
have time for it. Yeah, I'm too busy. But like there was also when I was in college, I wasn't so busy and it was constantly on my mind. And I remember my one of my more popular videos where it shows me next to this tall blonde woman and it says rejected by a 6'6" girl. It's like the story of me being rejected. And in that video, I was 20 years old and I decided to do no fap, not for any like not for any like health reason or anything like that, literally just to imagine myself being like deprived of gratification by like an imaginary dominatrix, so that I would gain like more and more. Like basically what they called it back then was edging.
Yeah.
Not like gooning is like a new
Well,
term of the last few years.
well, gooning is like where you just do it over and over and over. It's almost like a mindset, but edging is where you're about to finish, but then you stop and then you keep
Yeah,
going.
when I first heard about gooning, though, they said that that's what it was. They said it was a new term for edging. So
Oh,
maybe
okay.
it evolved over time,
Yeah, I think
but
it might just
that's
be like just a new saying because words they don't lose the meanings; they get new ones over time. So maybe
yeah.
originally it was that, but
I like that they're two different things because I edging is a good term and I want to keep it. But
you're gonna
yeah,
gatekeep
so that's
edging.
why I did it. Yeah, that I edged for 6 weeks basically, and that's what pushed me to ask that girl out, and that's what drove me to say the crazy thing that I said to her. I'll leave that for the video. The time story, or I think it's getting rejected by a 6'6" girl or something is the name of it. Whoever wants to watch it, but I said something very off the wall, or the how the kids say out of pocket.
Out of
I said
pocket.
something pretty crazy. Yeah, and like um, she reacted in an interesting way, and but I wouldn't have done that if it weren't for the insanity that the nofap caused.
Are you a like religious man? Do you believe in Christianity, Buddhism, or whatever?
I um grew up going to church every Sunday, going to youth group, going to Sunday school, Christian elementary school, vacation Bible school, Bible camp, all of that until I was 15 or 16. And after that, I became completely disillusioned with it. And but I was still, I still had to come to church with my grandparents because they insisted on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally became disillusioned, but I also started investigating other religions and spiritualities, and I learned about many different ones. And like I fell upon basically being an agnostic because I had a ton of spiritual psychedelic experiences from the age of 14 till a few years ago. So I went on many trips, and they taught me a lot. And I developed my own belief system that is like unique and unnamed. So I'm just agnostic, but I do believe in God, and but a different version of God that's a little bit different than described in religious books. I like Buddhism a lot. I think my beliefs are like most similar to Buddhism, but I also don't like some parts of Buddhism.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
What is your like quote unquote like God then for your agnostic belief system?
So that would be like God is the totality of all things, past, present, and future, in everywhere all at once, outside of time, in an infinitely small and infinitely large point where there's no like nothing is separate from itself. Like the whole universe ceases to exist. Is essentially a void that the universe like exists from, because like if we could transcend physical bodies and time and space, that's what life would be. It would just be nothing forever for all of eternity, and that is God.
Yeah.
So that's where I like, even though a lot of people look at that and says, "Oh, that sounds horrible," but that's where I would want to be for eternity because existence is suffering.
Really? You think life itself is just suffering?
Well, if one person exists and has a happy life, there are 100 more who don't.
That's okay.
So it's like the way I see the universe or the world is like, if I exist in my body now, and a lot of people disagree with this, but that must mean that this isn't the only time I've existed. because
Oh, okay.
eternity includes all the time before and after, and other humans are existing and experiencing consciousness in that whole like spectrum of time. And it wouldn't make sense to me if just because I'm not alive in my current form, that I'm not experiencing consciousness, because other beings, even if they aren't human, even if all the humans were killed, the animals, you'd still be experiencing the life of animals. And if there were no animals, you'd be fish, you'd be this and that. And all of that, the hierarchy, the reproductive hierarchy of size, supremacy, of whatever, is present in every like species. Almost every, not every, but like it eventually props up in the course of evolution, and then it becomes completely it takes over like most species. So it's like, no, like any form of existence at any point in time, you're going to have to know what it's like you're going to have to experience the life of someone who's at the bottom of the hierarchy to
Eventually,
be able to experience. Yeah, like, well, it's not just eventually, it's the majority of the time.
you
Because
will.
it especially, yeah, especially as the disparity between the rich elite and everybody else grows over time. Imagine like you get to experience one life of pure superiority and bliss, and then have to experience a, a, 100,000 lives of misery and inferiority. Like, what kind of trade-off is that? Like, that's not worth it, you know?
I get what you're
So the
saying.
people at the top should see that. They should see that and realize that just because I'm experiencing this life now and I can enrich myself and at the cost of everyone else, that's actually doing them pain, because they are going, like, every other person is a mirror and a place that they're gonna have to experience the existence of. So by creating more suffering overall for your own benefit, you're just creating more suffering for yourself. So
That's
that's like my
that's
beliefs
tough.
about it.
So
Thanks.
it's just anything and everything, all is connected.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Okay.
so if
Yeah.
we were able to not exist, like if there was no world, no animals, no nothing, um, life would be better, because you would just be in eternal oneness,
Yeah.
and just not having to experience any of those. But at the same time, some people might look at that and say, "Oh, but then what about the adventure of life?" And we're not going to get. But you're not going to be thinking about that, because you're not going to have a brain, and that's not going to be a factor. But it's like when I hear about like Satan, like the idea of Satan, um, I think it ties a lot to the Nordic god of Lorcan, who's like Loki. And oh wait, Lorcan is the Elder Scrolls one. Loki is the real life one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the trickster god, to me, Satan is basically Loki, because what the idea is that when the universe finally comes to an end and we get to make the decision if we want to step out of it and never have to experience again, or start it all over again with the rubber banding of the Big Bang. Like, there's going to come a time where like we as consciousness are going to be able to make that decision, and Loki or Satan is the one that whispers in your ear and says, "But we had so much fun, don't you want to do it again?"
Mm.
Because all that does is repeat the cycle of suffering for trillions of years.
For endless number of years,
So
if you
that,
think about it.
yeah, I mean, the universe is eventually going to die. Like, I don't know how much you know about that, but
No,
there are a
no,
few
I'm
theories on
pretty
how.
adverse. Like whether, yeah, eventually it'll tear apart with the dark matter. This individual, an invisible particle we just kind
Mhm.
of think exists. It tears apart, or in a rubber band, or
Yeah, we're
heat
not
death. Heat
sure.
death.
We're not sure what's going to. Yeah, heat death, or it expands and then falls back in on itself. But
Or
I
it
think either
tears.
way,
Yeah.
yeah, either way, the universe could potentially restart, because it's there. It's a multiverse. Like, the theory is that it's a multiverse out there. So just because our universe ends doesn't mean that there couldn't be another one. I'm just hoping that eventually, like, that was one of my goals in life, is to help train an AI or something that would be able to learn everything that we could about black holes and quantum physics so that we could figure out some way to turn off consciousness,
Mm.
like, and not just on Earth, but like across the universe. I imagine the extraterrestrials, because that would affect them, they would want to get involved, you
Yeah.
know?
And
They
like,
might want to do it. They might want to help.
yeah. And my thing is like, now that I'm kind of thinking about this, when a star dies, it's gone. When a planet dies, it's whatever, explodes, whatever. I guess depending how it dies, right? What if the universe, we think it's this big, well, it is massive, this massive, just celestial body of awesomeness, right? But what if it's just like a
Mhm.
star? Once it's over, it's gone forever. We just got so lucky that we even happened in this part of the time that we're in right now to even exist. It could be that. It could just be like just one big nothing.
Yeah, that's a possibility, but like, what about the whole multiverse thing?
Yeah,
Like, I
that could
feel
be
like most
true.
scientists believe that now.
Yeah, or like
Am
time
I
travel.
wrong?
No, no, I don't think you're wrong. I think that's true actually. I subscribe to the idea of multiverse and all that time stuff because in the vast world of things that we don't know, what to say that these two things don't exist. You know what I'm saying? Just as an example, time travel in the multiverse. There's nothing really
Mhm.
disqualifying those. And if you can go back in time, which technically you can go forward in time with like light speed travel, like some very circumstantial things. If you can go back in time and then change something, you pretty much it's either A, time is linear, so you go from point, A, B, change something, this timeline is gone, and then makes a new timeline going forward, or branches off, you know? So I think it,
Yeah,
it probably branches off and becomes another universe, technically.
yeah. There's like a graph that represents time. So it's like you've got like X and Y are space and wait a second. Now that's like X and Y represent a three-dimensional space,
Mm.
which is interesting because normally it would be like the Z would wait a second. No. There's X, Y, and then Z, and then there's another one that's like diagonal that goes through the three-dimensional matrix, and that represents time. So it's like the time thing is like the entire matrix as a whole moves along the last axis, and that represents time. And the idea is that like somehow that we'd be able to like be if it works a similar way, like it could be possible to go back and forth across that matrix or
That
whatever the
axes,
axis,
yeah, axis. Yep.
yeah. But the with dimensions, you like it's always been if there's a two-dimensional being, they exist within the third dimension, but they can never ever experience the third dimension because it's not physically possible for them. But what it was possible, then we in the third dimension could go to the fourth dimension, which is time, and be able to travel through time like space,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the theory behind it, is that the fourth dimension is time. We got the depth, up, down, left, right. Depth or whatever is three dimensions, and the fourth dimension would be time.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's gravity, space, and whatever the last one, and then time. Yeah. Um, but when you start
Mhm.
really thinking about all that kind of stuff, it gets so not confusing, but we're at a point right now where we're so early, we're kind of not even seeing the infancy of actual concrete proof for this kind of stuff. So whether it be in 100 years, because look how much we've progressed as a technological society just from the 80s to now. That's like what, 30 years, right? That is insane. We have
40.
yeah, 40, 6, 7, pretty much, yeah, 40, 30 years. We have a smartphone. Like, this is, you bring this back in time, you're like a god, with this kind of thing. So imagine in
Yeah.
20 years, 100 years, no, 1,000. Imagine 1,000 years from now, if we're not all dead. I don't think we'll be all dead. I believe humanity will
So
prevail.
you have an
Yeah,
optimistic view of human technological progress because
I'm
I
very
don't.
optimistic. I'm a very optimistic man. Yes.
Because
What?
I look at the from 1980 to 2000, things progressed like crazy. really, really, really fast. Then, and in the early 2000s to mid 2000s, there were all these. Well, actually, that the whole 2000s, there was futurism was a big thing because I'm a little older than you, so I remember all this stuff very well. All these magazines talking about how by 2022 we were going to have these flying cars, we're going to have this and that, and everything's going to be chrome, and they're going to start making food synthesized and all this stuff. And like almost none of it happened. And like, yes, the smartphones came like just a couple years later, but that was like the smartphones, computers, like that was the only major like breakthrough that actually changed society. That and social media, which is significant, but it doesn't really change like the way society looks as a whole. Like when you
Mm.
look at the cars we drive, the buildings, just people's styles of
That
dress,
everyone has
and
access
just
to
like
as well.
yeah,
Because
so like
not
not
everyone has access to like AI powered cars too.
yeah, yeah, there's always going to be some people that are always on the cutting edge, but I just it seems like there was a lot more visible change from 1980 to 2000 than in the next 20 years. Because like I said, none of the things in the magazines happened, and they were based on like the pace of change that we had already seen. And even computers, like they were saying that they were going to keep doubling every year in power or whatever, and that has slowed down. AI is really a great like leap forward, but
That's
it's
a
also
breakthrough, I
seeming to
think.
yeah, it's overvalued though. Like it's been like completely um I think that a lot of corporate companies are investing in it. Like investors are it's basically a like the dot-com bubble. You know about that?
No, what's that?
So in the late 90s and early 2000s, the everyone was obsessed with website domains, and every company was reaching out for a .com, and there were all these tech companies blooming, surround like built around a website, and they everyone thought it was like the future and that it was gonna like make sales shoot through the roof and everything. Yeah, and their predictions were wrong. Yes, websites became a thing, but just because you build a website for to sell pet food and products doesn't mean that everyone who shops at some other place is going to all of a sudden buy from the website. And
Yeah.
that's what everyone thought.
It's like a
So
fad.
the economy took a major hit.
Yeah.
Like it was bad, and the same kind of thing. It's the pattern's repeating with AI, and I'm a lot of people are really concerned about it. Um,
You could kind of say it's like a fad as well because I'm sure you remember the big crypto, not crypto, yeah, crypto, the NFTs. You remember the NFT thing going
yeah,
on? The monkeys, all that. Early 2020s, that was like, dude, that's the next big thing. And then now look, Jake Paul bought one for like 300K, and now it's probably worth like $5, you know? Um,
damn, I wish he spent all his money on it.
Dude, yeah, and then he did
Like,
another crypto scam for CryptoZoo, and people still support him. He's a scumbag, bro. Come on.
yeah, I hate that guy. But yeah, I don't think it's as much of a fad as NFTs. I think it's definitely way bigger than that,
Oh,
but
definitely.
it's not it's not going to be able to replace whole customer service departments, and it's already shown that it can't.
Or
And it takes way
art,
too much energy, huh?
or art as well.
Or artists.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, they've got too high of expectations for it, and it's not meeting it. And but at the same time, I think that in the future, in like 40 years, it could be smart enough to solve universe spanning problems like the one I mentioned earlier about consciousness.
and
You
what
know,
is consciousness? We don't even know what it is technically, you know. So
it's awareness.
yeah, well,
But
it's
yeah,
a
technically,
technical. Yeah, what makes us us? Is it something in the brain? Do we have a soul? Is God there? Is Bible the biblical Bible Christianity? All that kind of stuff. And I think the day that we kind of truly understand that is the day that us as a society can come together as one true objective truth. And the reason why is because everyone is so divided right now, you know. um with the recent assassination of that political YouTuber, not YouTuber, streamer, or I guess political commentator,
hmm
Charlie Kirk, right? Um,
Hmm.
I'm not like gonna get too deep into that because in my opinion, like I didn't really know of the guy too much besides like memes or whatever.
I knew about him pretty well.
Yeah, I don't really subscribe to a lot of his ideas, but I don't think nobody should be killed. I like death is just
Hmm.
wow. But I do remember that uh, wait, what was I even gonna say, bro? Dude, I had something so tough planned. Wait, hold up.
You,
Wait, dude.
you were talking about you were talking about consciousness. You said that we don't know what
Oh
it
yeah.
technically
Okay, yeah.
is.
Sorry. Okay, I remember now. So yeah, everyone is divided about Charlie Kirk because people think the left did it, you know, and then the right's going after the left, but the left saying no. It's just as an example about that because everyone was on Trump about the Epstein files. Hey, release the files. But then this happened, and that took everyone off course, right? But if we can all come together on one thing, everyone, every single person, and that would come to like everyone would be just connected, and it would be I would like no more fighting. I'd say as just as an example, if we can all agree on something concrete that is so important as us as what is a person, that would break away all these things that don't really matter too much. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember when I was in college, I used to use the cannabis vape once every 2 weeks, and my tolerance was really low. And when I did it, I would like study books and stuff, and I had these incredible ideas coming to my head. And one of them was like, and it's not exactly original, but what if the progress of human evolution would be that one day all of our consciousness would no longer like it would go from in one moment we're separate bodies that all have our own thoughts and feelings in our own head that other people couldn't detect to all of a sudden just connecting in like some higher field, like some dream energy field
A
that like
hive
connected
mind in a
every
way.
living being. Yeah. So that it would basically any like dark evil beliefs or ideas would immediately be like as visible as anything, you
Yeah.
know? So it would be like a purification, an instant like fire and flame
Boom.
because
You're out of
everyone would
here.
know. But it's like you wouldn't actually have to kick people out of there because everyone would have the same mind,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But it would still have the same effect. But it's like if that would have to happen naturally as like a natural course of evolution. It can't be forced. Otherwise, some person with maybe nefarious intentions could um influence it
Could take
somehow.
over humanity. You think about it.
Yeah. Like be the dominant like will.
Mind. I
Yeah.
do think that everyone and everything is connected in some sort of way. I truly do
Yeah.
believe that. Me,
Definitely.
you, my neighbors down the street, anything like all of us are connected in some form or fashion. Now, I'm not talking
Mhm.
connection like through a biblical sense, but like an actual like life force or something kind of sense because like we all come from dirt and you know for the most part if you think about it really and we all
Yeah.
inhabit the same planet. We all breathe the same air, you know. And I think maybe our connections have been dulled and diluted due to generations of just slop. Not like being fed like actual quote unquote slop, but just like the dilution of I guess connectingness with one another. People are so divided, but they're connected, but not truly connected. Like there's people who are performative
Community. Yeah.
communities, yeah,
Community.
yeah, but
Yeah.
not like they're
That
connected, but not on like a real, like true connection level. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that honestly, like you're right, there has been a degradation of community, but going all the way back to prehistoric times, there have been selfish squabbles and domination games between different people, trying to
Forever,
abuse another. So it's like not like
it's
even
not
like
new.
being a close tribe isn't necessarily gonna save us. But that what you were saying about the dirt and stuff, that's another thing that I saw like in a vision in one of those psychedelic experiences. Where it's like that's why I believe in reincarnation. Well, I just don't believe in anything, but it seems most logical to me because if when we die, like scientifically, we just decompose, and then that becomes dirt, and then that becomes grass, and then that becomes food for animals, and the animals become food for people, and then people exist again. So logically, you're recycling,
Yeah.
you know?
And I think if we ever do discover what a soul is, that would probably be the biggest discovery in all of human history, I think, right there. That would be, objectively, I feel like that would be it. That would be the discovery, not the light bulb, not fire. I mean, fire is pretty up there. Not sliced bread or the wheel. Again, sliced bread's
Not the internet.
a PB&J, or even the internet, or the smart, again, the smartphone, Hatsune Miku, Sonic the Hedgehog, Gorilla Dragon Ball, all that. It would be that one simple thing. But
Yeah.
now, to kind of close off that little section of, I guess, spirituality and like a serious topic, let's get something a little more lighthearted, just a little something for funsies.
Okay.
My question to you is, when you say you want a masculine woman, like, are you like bisexual in a way? Or are you just like masculine females?
I'm what they call heteroflexible on FetLife. So that means I'm like 95% straight.
Oh, and 5% gay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you kind of, I don't want to offend other guys that like tall women that look like the ones that I like, but I feel like you have to be 5% gay to like women that look the opposite of, traditional femininity.
Yeah.
And on top of it, I still think about scenarios involving men like in their domination activities,
So like,
So it's not.
If you replaced a woman with a man in your scenario, would that be okay with you as well?
Well, I mean, I prefer women, so not
what if they're like
it's
feminine,
not
like,
ideal, but
okay, what about like a femboy? Are femboys gay?
no. Well, oh, are they gay? Well, only if they like men exclusively.
Well, because you're a feminine dude, so you'd be like, would you say you're a femboy?
No, but that's because I'm pretty well versed on the exact definition. Like,
Of a femboy.
like
Okay, I guess that makes sense because I'm using like the internet term, like from what I know.
Yeah, femboys like take hormones, and maybe not all of them, but they cross dress, put makeup on. I don't do that stuff.
You're
The
just.
cat thing is it. That's it.
I mean, you got to give us a meow. Meow. You got to come on. You got to deliver like, come on. You got to do it louder. It's not picking up.
There you go.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, I'll lock back in.
Glad you liked it. Glad you liked it.
I love when people, especially you, I just love when they're so open, so flexible, so honest, so able to just, I guess that fun. I'm going to be editing the footage and be like, that's going to give me a good giggle. That's a great
Yeah.
giggle.
Yeah. Sometimes, sometimes when you're doing these videos, you can take the most exciting part of
and clip
the
them
thing
for
and put it in
shorts. That's what I'm going to do. I do that all the time.
And also at the front, like front load your video, your full video, show a 5-second clip that you think is the most exciting, and then it goes back into from the start.
Yeah, no, that's what I did for my first podcast.
Yeah, you would have to like transition it, like record another clip saying, this is this guy, we're talking, but like that's what some YouTubers do is they start out with the most interesting part. It's like an attention grabber.
I have already have like 20 things just from this alone that I can put for the intro. Honestly.
Yeah.
Because
you gotta pick one.
I can already have one good contender because it's not every day you see a man you have nice hair. Nice facial hair, nice eyebrows, nice hair. You got the whole shebang going on. But it's not every day you see that with choker or collar, and the like meow, the little cat ears, dude.
I don't always wear this stuff, for special occasions.
I'm happy you did, because I'm like, I'm gonna be in a little silly costume. So I'm like, hey, like if you like to, you could totally do that, just so you know. And you're like, sure, okay. I'm like,
Yeah, I tried to a little bit. So how many podcast episodes do you have?
this is the 6th episode, actually. I want to do. So my first one was a year ago, so I think June or July 24. Do you know who Sephiroth Sword 57 is?
No. Who's
Okay,
that?
so he's my sensei. He is he's not Japanese. He's a Swedish YouTuber, like internet celebrity, and he's very well known in the Japanese and anime community. There is this anime called Punch Punch Forever, created by Speederoo, and he's in there. He's one of the main members of the cast, technically, right? When you get the chance, you should look him
Wow.
up. Him and I have done a lot of videos together. Him and I.
That's cool that you know somebody like that and got him on the podcast. That's pretty good.
He was my first ever guest. He was my sensei. Dude, he's that guy,
That's great.
We had a little bit of almost of a falling out, but like people are like, we're good now. It wasn't anything too bad, He made a video saying, "Oh, about my last podcast guest." He thought it was like a Nintendo. You just have to watch the videos on my channel to know the lore. All right, like seriously, I can't explain it all. But my second guest was was George Droid. So you've been on Instagram. You know those videos of George Floyd where he's like a robot?
No, I've never seen that.
Okay, well he's like a cyborg, and it's like a crypto thing, and I wanted to get them for a podcast episode. I don't endorse any cryptos. I make that very clear on all my videos that have anything to do with crypto. If you yourself want to do that, that's fair. That's fine. But I would not choose to do that. So yeah, it was a pretty interesting episode. We talked about like Jewish stuff, the stuff like that. It's very strange. The third guest was.
You should send me the link.
I can send you the podcast link from it for all the episodes, but
Yeah.
the third episode was Sean, the Great Gamer. He's an African American internet celebrity. He's met Billy Mitchell. He's won a lot of gaming awards. He's pretty cracked. And I asked him. I caught him on when he was live streaming on Instagram. Like, hey, you want to be like on a podcast? And he's like, yeah, sure. The next second, he's FaceTiming me on Instagram. I'm like, okay, hang on, let me get dressed. Let me get ready. Hold up. So it was instant.
Wow.
My fourth episode was with a fan. He wanted to do a fan Q&A. And it was...
Thank you. Sorry, my grandma, I don't know, came in here.
Oh, is
I'm listening.
Okay. Is everything okay?
Well, I probably need to go soon, but...
Yeah, no worries. I'll keep... Like I'll keep you for only a few more things, and I'll let you go. Don't worry. So yeah, my fourth was actually a fan Q&A. He wanted to do like he asked me questions about my career, what I've done, why I'm this and that. Pretty basic stuff. Now the most recent episode, the fifth episode, was with this girl. Her name's Akasha. She was another crypto influencer. She had rug pulled her fans for $7 million in crypto. The end of 24, so like October stuff, and I wanted to talk to her about that. And she gave pretty like PR responses like, oh, people shouldn't give me their money because I am susceptible to being scammed. But then you say you want people to put money into your stuff. Like, come on, choose.
Sounds like an explanation.
It sounds like an excuse. Is my thing. It's my opinion. So
yeah,
I pressed her
someone
on
needs
that.
to investigate.
Yes, definitely. A popular YouTuber made a video about her when she was popping off. She was a really white girl saying the N-word, and then on Instagram. And so this black YouTuber was like, the video got like I think a few million views already. That was like a year ago, of course, but it was like pretty good. But yeah, I guess for my podcast, it's just kind of, I guess I reach out and I get lucky for the most part. Like I saw your videos and I'm like, this guy I have got to get. No matter, I will sell my soul.
I'm definitely the least famous person there, it sounds like, but I'm definitely unique.
I wouldn't say you're the least famous. In the hierarchy, you're definitely the third, because Akasha, she's fell off. Completely fallen off. Straight up. And
For
because
good reason,
for
yeah.
I look up your name. This is today because I like to do crash courses on my guests the day before, the night before, whatever, to get all the information about them and just kind of ask questions about that. So I looked up Chadlet Maxing on Google and I went images and like you came up. First thing was your channel on YouTube, straight up. Your name popped. I was like, whoa, okay. I didn't know you were popping up
Yeah.
like that.
I'm the only person with that name or any very similar, so that helps.
That is true. I mean, you look up my name, Mr. Honeybun, the 2 Tons of Fun. There was another YouTuber named Mr. Honeybun, which I didn't even know for like years, by the way. Um, it's a mouthful.
Wow.
I have been because my icon on YouTube is actually Chris Morgan, because my first ever video, or the reason why I started making this videos for my channel was because of this Chris Morgan, and I want to make a video or a movie about him. Just like for fun. I was in like middle school, so like, oh, these are funsies. And my avatar is him with a little anime hat, and the whole shebang. And I think I've been wanting to do a rebrand for a little bit, make it a little bit more me. So when people see my videos, it's like some old white dude.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a good idea.
But yeah, I like another thing is like when we look at like our content, your content, my videos, your videos is so different. So you're serious, well, and you have fun, but I'm just like I'm doing Fortnite videos. I'm just doing whatever, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be cool to have to do a gaming channel someday, but the thing with that is it's like it helps to already be famous for something and then say, "Hey, I'm starting a gaming channel." And then because otherwise it's like it's too saturated
That's true.
to
It
be
is.
discovered.
It is so saturated to the point where it's like my highest viewed Fortnite fontage is like 250 views, I think. And that's for my channel. That's pretty good, actually. Because as I keep growing, I at least want to make sure that I don't ever forget. Because when I first started, I'll be like, hey, even if I can get like 5 views on a video, I'll be happy, and I still am. Obviously, there will be times I'm like,
That's good.
yeah, but right now it's like, man, there's that decline coming up, like, bam, man, you know what I'm saying? But it's whatever. Things will go up, down. It's like a spectrum. I guess another thing I had to
Yeah,
ask you is, are you like on the spectrum? Are you like autistic? I know you have ADHD, and I'm not trying to be
maybe.
mean or nothing. It's like,
Maybe. I don't know. I grew up with my grandparents who were born in the 40s, and people from that generation don't think about stuff like that. So I never got checked about anything. I didn't even get the ADHD diagnosis until I was 22. I never looked into the autism thing, but I've been told by people that they think I am. One of the story I'm going to tell in my video that's posting tomorrow about burnout and stuff and exploding in my uncle, I did some things in that story that were very similar to things that an autistic person would do when they're having a meltdown.
mhm.
So it's possible, but I also went 65 hours on 2 hours of sleep. So kind of lost my mind a little bit.
Maybe you're a hard worker.
So
So.
yeah, but it was also an insomnia episode. So
Oh,
I worked
okay.
really hard, but I get 6 to 7 hours to lay in bed every night and sleep. But when the insomnia kicks, I'm only sleeping a small fraction of that.
Do you,
So
do you like anime by chance?
I'm not like especially into anime. I can tell you are, but I used to be into a few different shows like Full Metal Alchemist. I liked Bleach. I like Studio Ghibli films. A lot of the normie stuff.
Oh,
Basically.
okay, okay.
But I know that there are other good ones. I heard One Punch Man was really good.
That's
I've never seen it.
the first season's the best. The 2 and 3 are pretty bad.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I had to stop watching Bleach though. I was so into Bleach when I was 18 that I like had pirated it or something. I had a whole folder full of them. I don't know where they came from, but as I got through them, it started to show that one character who was the big tall guy. Remember the Mexican guy whose special thing was that he was super tall and buff?
Yeah, I think I know who you're
He
talking
was,
about. Yeah,
he was
yeah.
one of the main characters. and there was an origin episode on him where it showed him growing up in Mexico, like getting bigger than the other kids and fighting, and maybe I think he had a stage where he was bullying kids, and then his grandpa sat him down and said, "You're gonna grow up to be more powerful than other people, and you need to learn to be gentle and use it to protect and not abuse." And that's why he became a good guy, because he respected his grandpa or whatever. But it's like that whole thing, it because I was so insecure when I was 18, like 18 or early 19 was when I was at my peak of insecurity about my height. And to see that just like totally like destroyed my like it just it was too traumatic for me. I couldn't face seeing some tall buff guy be told that he gets to be in control of everybody else,
Yeah.
basically. So I had to stop watching the show after that. Never went back.
If you'd like to watch an anime where the main character's short, like 5'5", 5'6", there's this anime called Yu Yu Hakusho, actually. It's a shonen jump anime, you know, like Dragon Ball, Bleach, something like that, Full Metal Alchemist. And I don't go too deep into what's about because I don't want to spoil it. But Yusuke Urameshi is the main character, and he's a spirit. He's like in middle school, going to high school. He's like 14 or 15, and he goes on adventures. And I don't really know how to explain it without like, spoiling it. But I think you'd like that anime if you liked Bleach. It delves into the world of spirituality and heaven, hell, afterlife, and stuff like that. And so yeah, I think you should check out Yu Hakusho, and probably Dragon Ball too, if you'd like to.
I didn't like those kinds of shows because they were too fantasy. Like I liked the way my favorite was Full Metal Alchemist because I'm really obsessed with the time period of
Medieval.
1890 to World War One. Well, it's not medieval. It's the turn of the 20th century. The major time the Industrial Revolution really kicked off right before World War One. That whole show is based around the leading up to World War One, which is I'm most interested in that time of any time in history. And I like shows that are like grounded a little more in reality, but Bleach is good because I don't know, it's not as much about like magic, like balls and animals like Pokemon or whatever. It's a little bit more based in realism or whatever. But I also had to stop watching Full Metal Alchemist because they had a big, tall, buff guy in that show too. The guy with the blonde tuft of hair who's bald. Other than that, you remember that guy?
Yeah, I haven't seen Bleach, but I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Well, that was Full Metal Alchemist I'm talking about.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah,
so,
I haven't seen Full Metal Alchemist or Bleach, but I know Edward is the main character of Full Metal Alchemist, also Ichigo. So I know my basic stuff, but I know who you're talking about. I don't know the name, but yeah.
That tall guy, he's actually like a German aristocrat, like born into a noble, like old money family that like dominated the military throughout generations. And just seeing his height and power be associated with his wealth and status was too triggering for me at that age. So I also had to stop watching that.
So right now, you wouldn't be too triggered at all. You just wouldn't care. You'd be just enjoying the media.
Pretty much, except I don't really have time to watch any shows these days.
Because you're always work. I guess right now this is work too, technically.
Yeah.
Because once this video is up, I guess I don't know. Maybe you'll post on your story, say, "Hey guys, go check out all that stuff."
Yeah, and you'd have to send me the link when you post it, and so that I can do it right away.
Yeah,
and,
no, of course. I don't worry. I'm a professional at this. Don't worry.
Good. When do you think it'll be up?
In my opinion, so all I will have to do once we're done here, I go into my editor, maybe clean it up a little bit, but it's pretty much all the raw footage. The longest thing that it takes would be the promotional thing plus the intro, because the intro is the promotional video, and that could take just a few hours. Tomorrow I won't be home too much because I have stuff going on tomorrow. But I can definitely see this as being out Friday. Honestly, probably like this for a Friday weekend release. People come home, no school, no work. Oh, the
That's a
C.U.M
good day.
Podcast is up. You know,
Yeah.
because I remember I
Yeah.
posted my last podcast episode. I think at like 8 p.m. on like a weekday or Tuesday or something, and people are just getting home from work, maybe going to bed early, whatever. So that wasn't a good time for me to post that. So being a weekender person, I think that'd be best.
Yeah. Well, it's like if that works for you, then that works. It seems to me like there's a lot more competition for posting, like competing with big YouTubers on the weekends because they're able to dominate whatever time period they focus on. I've been posting at 5:45 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesdays this whole time, and I don't really know if it's the best time to be honest,
Oh,
but I just
really?
heard that it's good to stick to a time, you know? To like
And
once you
every Tuesday?
like yeah, so it's like they say when you when you get into a rhythm of posting at a certain time on a certain day, it's good um to keep doing that, like to build the repetition and it helps the YouTube algorithm like prepare itself. But all
Mm.
this stuff is speculation. Like I don't know if this is 100% true, but this is what a lot of people say. Um, like I've posted videos. Like tomorrow, I'm going to post it Wednesday tomorrow at noon. And that's I don't usually post that time, but I have to because the video wasn't ready in time.
Is this
But
a
I've done
short
that before.
form or a long? Is
No,
this long form, right?
yeah, this
Okay.
is long form. I actually post on the weekends on TikTok. So I post on Tuesday evening on YouTube, and then I post Fridays and Sundays generally, or Saturdays for TikTok.
Okay.
I used to post on Wednesday on TikTok, but I can't make that many TikToks anymore. I don't have time.
Yeah, dude, we've been going on for 2 hours, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my
You about
goodness.
are you almost ready to go?
Yeah, I guess this is probably the longest episode, actually. 2 hours. Oh my goodness. Because there's not anything I'd want to cut out. Because this is all good. It really is all good. Um, so I guess Chad Maxing, thank you for coming on to the C.U.M Podcast. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we close off?
Um, yeah. That's all.
You gotta do that a little bit louder so the microphone can pick it up. Yeah, a little bit louder. I can't hear you. I'm so serious. You gotta dude. You gotta be like.
Why is it not working? I guess it doesn't pick up that sound. Meow.
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
Meow.
I can hear you now. So you get like.
When I actually do the when I
Dude,
actually make it sound like a cat, it doesn't work. Did you hear it that time
I
though?
know I did, and I'll have to like edit in like cat sound effects, dude.
Yeah, do that because it's like it doesn't. I think you were laughing earlier when I was doing it. I thought you could hear me.
I heard a few of the times because you're like. I was like, okay. Anyway,
All right.
dude, this is probably my favorite episode. Really, it took a few weeks of us planning to get here, but yeah, thank you again for coming on the 6th episode of C.U.M Podcast. Is there any actual closing words that we can all understand besides little meow meows? I can
Okay.
understand.
Okay. Um, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're interested in seeing long form content that's not just about hype, but about like men's issues in general. My personal stories, because I'm almost 30 years old. I've been through a lot and I've had a lot of brutal experiences. And I've got like a bunch of stories already on there, brutal black pilling stories, plus like 30 more that I haven't told yet. And in between the stories, I'm going over topics either related to height or related to issues with women or like like you mentioned earlier about those red pill guys. One of the things I didn't say is they like to victim blame a lot. They point
Mm.
at someone who isn't successful in life, who even if they tried their hardest, they say, "Oh, well, you tried your hardest." Well, obviously you didn't try your hardest And if you believe in yourself, you succeed. Everyone who believes in themselves succeeds, that sort of thing. So if somebody has bad luck and is doing everything right and just happens not to succeed, they're always told that it's their fault and they're just not good enough. So I talk about that sort of thing a lot too, or like mental health issues, etc. So, a variety of things, but it's male issues centered, and also a lot focused on like manlet issues,
Yeah.
about height.
And if you want to, you can hit like a little post too, like this or like that, before the episode ends. Like,
Like that.